call the January 17th meeting of the Board of Commissioners to order. Should everyone please stand and face the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. John, did you call the roll?
Josh Etherly. Here. Tony Gross.
Here.
Mike Hargis.
Here.
Jeff Lorenz. Here. Jen Ritter. Here.
All right, we have a quorum. The minutes have been circulated. Everyone should have had a chance to look over them. Do we have a motion to approve the December minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We have one addition to the agenda for tonight, and that's to add Sharon Armstrong. Hello, Sharon. As item 11B under new business. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move that we approve the agenda.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Announcements from commissioners. Is there anything, Josh?
I do not.
Mike?
No, sir.
Jeff?
No.
Glenn?
I understand we got trout coming in December 7th. No, it's December 7th. February 7th, we have trout coming
Yes.
to the park.
Yes.
Trout?
Stock the pond.
Trout in the pond.
The only thing I have is we, after this last meeting, because we had the election last time, and Jeff was elected vice mayor, and then we also had one other appointment that had to be made, and that was to fill the seat on the planning commission that is held by a member of the commission, and that has been filled by Glenn, and he's already had his first planning meeting last week, so that's my only announcement. Now we have time for community input and concerns. It looks like we have some community out here. Just step to the podium there and state your name and address and say whatever you'd like to say to the commission.
I'm not sure how this works. I hope I'm doing this right. Of course, y'all know that our house burned down, and we've had a very difficult time trying to find something close to the area to have our kids go to the same school. So we're hoping that we can possibly put an RV onto our property to have the sewer hookups and electrical hookups to live there either while we rebuild it, deciding to rebuild, which I would love for the love of our property, or planning to purchase in Kingston Springs again. Because sometimes that's our only option at this point to stay in the area, is to be able to have something like an RV or something temporary like that on our property.
But during the forum, the commission can't really
Okay. Yeah.
address it, but
Okay.
I appreciate your comments. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have anything? No? All right. No other community input and concerns. We can move on to department reports.
Also, the other problem I have with the house is that our mortgage company, until it's paid off or until we do decide to contract with the like a builder, they don't want us to tear the house down, but it is. I think it's a hazard because flying debris or anything, I've already had to tuck metal into the things. I don't know if there's something that the city can do to help me push it along, because I'd really like it torn down just so our neighbors don't have anything flying through their houses in a storm or anything.
Mm-hmm. Just out of curiosity, have you all spoken?
No, we haven't yet. Jennifer, if you would give me a call tomorrow or send me an email tomorrow.
That'd be great. Okay.
You and I can talk, and this is Miss Armstrong. She's our city
Also
planner.
very helpful.
She's also got some very helpful ideas and options, so we'll talk tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone's had a chance to read the department reports. Do we have anything to add to the department reports? All right. Legal updates.
Well, I have once again reached out to Kim Sasser-Hayden on the Comcast,
yeah.
and once again I have not heard anything, so I don't have anything to report on that. You may want to try stirring the pot by sending a demand letter that basically says your past expiration of the original franchise agreement. If we don't put something in writing by X date, then we're going to go along and find somebody who is willing.
Yeah, I feel like we should probably at this point do something.
2 years? It'll be 2 years.
It's been on
next
the borderline of silly at this point, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
All right.
That's something you do.
Yeah,
That's something that you
I'd
do.
write the letter, then we can let
Bring it
one of
back.
you, let one of sign in your official capacity.
Perfect. All right, unfinished business. We have second reading of ordinance 18-007, amending the employee work policy of the town of Kingston Springs, section 3H, employment types of employees, and section 4B, leave policies and annual leave. Anything to add to that?
No, sir.
Have a motion to approve ordinance 18-007 on second reading.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. All right, item B is second reading of ordinance 18-008, amending Title 7, Chapter 1, Section 7-1001 of Kingston Springs Municipal Code to adopt updated International Fire Code and amending Title 12, Chapter 12, Section 12-1201 through 12-12-6 to reference the newly adopted fire code. Do we have a motion to adopt ordinance 18-008 on second reading?
I also move to adopt it.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. New business is a motion to waive the activity center user fee for Tennessee Department of Transportation to conduct public involvement meetings for their upcoming I-40 corridor study.
I was at the Regional Planning Commission, or Regional Planning, I forgot what DO stands for, organization, I guess. Meeting a couple of weeks ago, TDOT representatives were there, and TDOT plans a statewide study of the I-40 corridor. They would like to use Kingston Springs as one of their community event sites for a community meeting to see what the needs on this particular section of I-40 is. They would like to use somewhere local. They would like to use our activity center, most likely sometime in the summer, late summer, early fall, for the meeting to start. So we're requesting, staff is requesting that the activity center fee be waived for this TDOT meeting.
They're still responsible for getting insurance, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, they would still need to get the same insurance as anybody that would rent the facility.
Do we have a motion then to waive the activity center user fee for TDOT?
Motion to waive.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, and then item B is City Planner Sharon Armstrong to discuss the community-wide planning initiative. I think, John, you want to introduce Sharon?
Yes, sir. Ms. Armstrong, the city planner, was with the Planning Commission at their meeting this past week, and she discussed the initial thoughts on a community-wide planning initiative, something that had been in the thought process for quite some time and has now started to work into the actual planning process. These meetings would be community-wide meetings. They would serve really three purposes. One, to listen to concerns. Two, to educate on zoning and planning. And three, to plan for the future. And I'll let Ms. Armstrong give you some more specific details.
Thank you, John. You've undertaken 3 planning processes within the community within the last 10 years. The first was your land use plan. It's a somewhat minimal plan required by the state in order to maintain your 3-star status with the Department of, I guess it's economic development now. It used to be planning, but now it's economic development. That process is a very minimal plan. Yours is on file. It's required to be updated every 10 years. The second planning initiative took place at the high school several years ago. It was an AIA initiative for the American Institutes of Architects. That was a somewhat broader plan. Didn't result in a lot of action, but it resulted in some really good ideas. And then the third planning process that you undertook was the TPR study for your corridors that occurred almost simultaneously with your AIA, which resulted in a traffic study and a number of suggestions for improvements to I-40 and the corridor adjacent at Lyman Hills Road. So you have evolved to the point in this community that I think a broader planning initiative is necessary. You have a lot of vacant land. There's a tremendous amount of growth pressure coming from Nashville. They have almost built completely out what's available there. So with projects coming in, it's an opportunity for us to get feedback from the community at large and in general. They can express their concerns, but they can also be a great source of ideas for planning initiatives in the future. It gives you a chance to look at your economic development strategies. Jerome Terrell visited with the Planning Commission last week. Not a lot of cross-connection between that office and the city, so it's an opportunity to allow that to happen. It also allows you to look at your infrastructure, your corridors, and plan for the future, because growth is going to happen whether we plan for it or we don't. And this gives us an opportunity to look at the available land for development, and with the community's input and a lot of activity and discussion on your part, to try to determine what's appropriate, what you can tolerate, where your limits of tolerance are for fire, policing, schools, and infrastructure. So we're going to start that initiative with a series of public meetings. They're all public. We'll solicit input from the commissioners and from the Planning Commission as well in order to drive this initiative. It should result in a plan that you can use as kind of a reference book for how to move forward as you grow.
That's a great idea.
Any questions from the Planning Commission in general?
When would you look to start?
I think that after the retreat occurs is a really good time to begin to plan that, sometime maybe in March, to have that first community meeting. The land use plan meetings were held in 2008, 2009 at the Methodist Church, but now that you have a community center in your park, it's a logical place to do that. You have the technology there. We can see maps and parcels and underlays. I'll begin gathering data now for population projections, that type of thing that will help to inform you as you move through the process. Your Planning Commission obviously is your driving factor for this. They've been itching to get started now for about 10 years, I guess.
Any other questions for Sharon? And for the new commissioners, if you haven't spoken to Sharon at any length, I recommend it highly. She's a great resource to the town, and highly knowledgeable, and hopefully we can have her more involved with some of the things that happen here in the city commission as well.
Thank you. I do serve as your city planner, and I have on several occasions. Kingston Springs right now has a very unique personality. Without proper planning, you'll start to lose that personality and what makes you unique. So with the presence of an interstate off-ramp and on-ramp, it kind of puts a little more pressure on you to maintain who you are, while all of the big chains and big box and fast food restaurants knock at your door. So it gives you also an opportunity to preserve your downtown, support your local businesses, and try to help those initiatives as well. So it'll blend every element of planning that affects your community.
And, right now is a good time to kind of strike while the iron's hot. We know there's been a lot of community interest in development right now, so it'd be a really good time to really bring in more community input. So I think it's an excellent plan.
I would agree with you. I think that it also can serve as a benefit to those community members that are having those discussions. I think it's an opportunity to share with them how development takes place, what decisions are outside of local control, what permits and review processes are required by federal and state agencies that we have no control and latitude over, and to give them kind of a 101 on what planning and zoning really is, where it starts, how it progresses, and what latitudes we have and what latitudes we don't. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. We have one surplus item, which is a Dell Optiplex 390 and an HP 1905 monitor. There's some antiques there, huh? Paperweights. I think my dad's actually in his little home shop. He has one of those that he still plays for solitaire. So it's got some. Do we have a motion surplus?
Motion surplus.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Is there anything else anyone would like to add under other? The reminders, our City Hall will be closed on Monday for MLK Day, and our retreat is, of course, coming up 8th and 9th next month, and I look forward to spending that time with you fellows. So, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.